Good morning. Let us continue with our discussion. So, we were talking about the so called types of bills. Depending upon the nature of the bill, the bills have been divided into few categories. I'll just open the document and I'll show you. Then we'll start discussion of this. Look at this. So, depending on the nature of the bills are classified into three categories. First one is the ordinary bill, second one is the money bills, and one is the constitution amendment bills. I already told you what is the meaning of the word constitution amendment. So there is a procedure mentioned within the constitution for amending the constitution. Amendment means modifications. So amendment means modifications. So sometimes there may be a necessity to modify the existing things in the constitution. Why? You must be getting it out. I was telling you so many times that Indian constitution is dynamic. It is not a static. Any country's constitution should be dynamic only. Dynamic in the sense depending on the requirements of the day, depending on the aspirations of the people. So you need to change the system. You need to change the rules and regulations that are enshrined in the constitution. Either you are modifying the existing things, either you are adding or you are deleting. Anything is considered to be amendment. Am I clear? And even for that one, since constitution is the most important and a sacred book in India, so a procedure has to be followed. A procedure has to be followed for amending that constitution. Am I clear? And what is that procedure? That procedure itself is mentioned in the constitution under article number 368. 368. You please remember this article blindly. So because in the examination, I want you to mention the number of the article. So that what will happen in the main examination especially, and if you mention, so there is an edge. There is an edge. Not just this article. So I'll be suggesting few articles and I want you to remember them. So once you start remembering them, it will become easy for you and you will be remembering more articles. Clear? And see here. So um, there are so many articles in the constitution. Every article you need not remember, but whatever the articles I am going to tell you, and I'll mention it very specifically, please remember only those articles. Clear? So number one is the article 368. It mentions about the amendment procedure of the constitution of India. Am I clear? So that is point number one. Please remember this. So next, when it comes to the bills, we understood that public bills and private bills. Let's leave it now because you already know. So now let me tell you what are the ordinary bills, what are the money bills, and what are the so-called constitution amendment bills. Let's try to understand now. So when I say um, ordinary bills, I'll come to this later. When I say money bills, first of all, money bills are those proposals. Bill means proposal. And in that proposal, if you talk something about money, then it will become money bill. Meaning is simple. Government has lots of expenditure. Government will spend money. Government will collect the money from the people in the form of the taxes. Clear? Say, for example, you all have paid tax, right? So what is the tax you have paid? Service tax you have paid. Is that okay? So you will pay the service tax. So meaning, so you are doing and performing your responsibilities to the government of India by paying the tax. So that money will be utilized by the government for various, developmental activities. That is the basic idea. Point number one. So now, any bill which talks about income or expenditure of the government, that bill is considered to be money bill. Example, budget. Example, budget that is considered to be, a money bill. Point number one. Next, point number two, another important one. When you talk about the Constitution Amendment Bill, I'll just open the document and I'll just show you what exactly and how exactly this amendment would go. What is the meaning of this? Right? I'll just try to demonstrate one example. Look at this Constitution Amendment Bill. Imagine, so this is your Constitution. Okay. So this is the Constitution. And we have something called AAA, right? BBB. Example, I'm saying CCC, like this, followed by DD. So this is the Constitution of India. Example. Now, over a period of time, what happens is that this is the existing one. Kindly remember, you have four items in the Constitution. Just only citing one example. And you have four items, and over a period of time, you want to add one more thing. One more thing, that is EEE, say for example. Is that okay? So it may not be exactly at the end, or you may want to add something like this, B1, like this. Then, so B1 is not present in the Constitution in the beginning. In the beginning means we have commenced our Constitution on January 26th, 1950. January 26th, 1950. So at that particular time, there is nothing like, at that particular time, whatever the Constitution that came into picture, that is called original Constitution. Clear? But today, I cannot say our Constitution is the original Constitution because we have amended for so many number of times. Right? Almost 100 times we have amended the Constitution. Clear? Once this GST comes into picture, that will become 100th constitutional amendment. Am I clear? Next, let's go to next point. So now, B1 was not originally present. B1 was not originally present, but we have added. So when we add something to the Constitution, that is called amendment of the Constitution. That is called amendment of the Constitution. Right? So now, over a period of time, what happened? We felt that CCC that is present in the Constitution is no more a requirement. Is no more a requirement. So hence, what will happen? So we'll try to delete this CCC. Hope you are getting. B1 was not present originally, and B1 has been added. CCC, which is already present, we don't require that. We'll just remove it. If you delete anything from the Constitution, that is also called a constitutional amendment. Is it clear? For example, here, addition. If you are adding anything to the Constitution, this is called addition. This is called amendment of the Constitution. Am I clear? Next, let's go ahead. Similarly, if you delete anything from the Constitution, that is also called the amendment of the Constitution. Adding something or deleting something to the Constitution is considered to be amendment, meaning modification of the Constitution. Clear? Hope you are getting. For example, see here, um, we have a concept called fundamental duties. Right? These are called fundamental duties. These fundamental duties were not originally mentioned in the Constitution. They are not present in the Constitution. Later, over a period of time, they were added to the Constitution through the 42nd Amendment. Fundamental duties were added to the Constitution through the 42nd Amendment in the year 1976. This is called amendment. But what is this 42nd? Whenever we amend the Constitution, we always mention we always mention a number. So that is like a serial number, so that it will become easy for us to know how many times so far the Constitution has been amended. Am I clear? So that is the 42nd Amendment. Important fundamental duties that were not mentioned in the original Constitution were added to the Constitution through the 42nd Amendment in the year 1976. Very, very important. Clear? Similarly, so when you talk about the fundamental rights, everything we are going to discuss over a period of time, these fundamental rights, how many fundamental rights were there? Originally, seven fundamental rights were there. Over a period of time, so we have deleted one, and right now in the Constitution, we have six fundamental rights. Originally, seven fundamental rights. Now I have six fundamental rights. Clear? Meaning, one fundamental right has been deleted. Deletion is nothing but the amendment. And this one happened through 44th Amendment in the year 1978. Hope you are getting this. This is a very simple one. You can understand very easily. I am talking about the amendment of the Constitution. Add something, delete something, that is called amendment of the Constitution. And for every constitutional amendment, you require the so-called, this a procedure to be followed by introducing a bill. That is called a constitutional amendment bill. Am I clear? You please remember this. Just now I told you, hope you got it. Just now I told you to remember articles. Okay, few articles. There are so many hundreds of articles are there, clauses, sub clauses. Remembering each and every article is really a difficult task. But I want you to remember. I want you to remember certain things. Uh, like few articles I am going to give you, and amendment numbers that I am going to give you. You please remember that. And I want you to mention that in the examination. How to mention, where to mention, I'll tell you over a period of time. First, you remember this. You should have the knowledge of all these things. Then, how to present it, that will become very easy for us. Clear? So, we are going to do this. That's number one. So, number two, uh, we have seen about money bills and constitution amendment bills. And third one is the ordinary bills. Third one is the ordinary bills. What is an ordinary bill? Ordinary bill, ordinary bill means any bill, any bill, if it is not, any bill, if it is not constitution amendment bill, if it is not money bill, then it will become the ordinary bill. Then it will become the ordinary bill. So it is the, the government which will say that this is going to be the constitution amendment bill, this will be the ordinary bill. But kindly remember, very important, when it comes to the money bill, whether a bill is money bill or not will be always decided by speaker. Speaker is present in the Lok Sabha. Very, very important. This is what is mentioned in the Constitution. So who decides whether a bill is a money bill or not? Answer is speaker. Am I clear? The speaker decides whether a bill is money bill or not. Next. Next, I'm going further. Let me open the document once. Look at this. According to the, look at the document very carefully. This is very, very important one. According to the nature of the bill, nature means content. Okay. According to the nature of the bill may be passed by the simple majority or by the special majority. According to the nature of the bill may be passed by the simple majority or by the special majority. Let's understand first, before we going further, let's understand what is simple majority and what is special majority. Right? Now, simple majority concept I have already explained to you yesterday, but let me tell you once again. If you look at the total The strength of the Lok Sabha is 545, including two nominated members. Including two nominated members. Okay, understand this. If all the members are present, if I'm saying if, because very rarely all the members will be present in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha for that matter. Meaning is simple, there is no compulsion that every member must present every time. Reason may be anything, but all the members are seen very, very rarely. Now imagine a situation, I'll tell you, 500 members are present, 45 members are not there, but 500 members are there. Now, if 500 members are there, if you want to pass a bill with a simple majority, if you want to pass a bill with a simple majority, then what exactly is this? Simple majority is always half plus one. Half from the members who are present there. Obviously, if I take half from 500, my number is 250. Clear? 250, you need to add 1, meaning it will become 251. So 251 is the simple majority. Hope you are getting this. Very, very important. Majority of the bills in the parliament are passed only through the simple majority where you don't require other majority. So, right, getting it? Very, very important. Now, let me go ahead. Only 400 members are there. Only 400 members are there. Then tell me, what is a simple majority? Simple majority is obviously it is 201. Is that okay? 200 plus 1, that will become 201. And imagine you have only 200 members. You have only 200 members, then it will be the so-called 101. Am I clear? That is a simple majority. Is that clear? But kindly remember, there is one condition. There is one condition in the Lok Sabha, in the parliament rather. Whenever you are going for any discussion or voting or anything, minimum strength must be present in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. That minimum strength is called quorum, and that quorum is equal to 1/10 of the total. That quorum is equal to 1/10 of the total. So getting it? 1/10 of the total. So minimum requirement is 1/10. So obviously, if you look at Lok Sabha, my strength is 545. So minimum strength for presenting what I require is the at least 55 members must present. Very, very low. That's the reason why sometimes you look at the Lok Sabha TV or Rajya Sabha TV, the live sessions are going on, and you'll see they are placed at different places. Few members will be there. Remaining all the benches are empty. So meaning is simple, all the members are not present, but quorum is present. 1/10 is present. Similarly, in the Rajya Sabha, if you talk about quorum, this is again, out of 245, you require at least 1/10 to be present. That 1/10 is equal to 25. Clear? Out of 245, I require at least 25 members to be present there. That is called the quorum. Is that clear? So now you understood what is a simple majority. Imagine you got all 545 members are present. All 545 members are present. Now, can you please tell me what is the simple majority? Yesterday I told you already. Think very fast. If all 545 members are present, my minimum requirement for passing a bill is nothing but 273. 273. Right? Meaning is simple. Every member who is present in the parliament or Lok Sabha need not accept the proposal. If it is accepted by simple majority, see, whenever you are reading the newspapers, you will come across with a simple majority. So now you know what is the meaning of the simple majority, and accordingly, you can understand this. So got it? Now, next, let me go ahead. Kindly listen very carefully. You are learning the law making procedures. Laws are made by the parliament, and if you want to make a law, You have to introduce a bill. Bill is nothing but a proposal, and we have two kinds of bills according to who is introducing the bill. One is the public bill, second one is a private bill. Depending on the nature of the bill, the bills have been classified into three categories. One is the ordinary bill, money bill, and constitution amendment bill. And you know what are all these things. Clear? So now we are going to see how exactly you are going to pass it. What is the majority that is required? So we have two types of majorities. One is the simple majority. Just now I have explained you what is simple majority. Now, so we'll try to look into the other concept. Look at this. Now look at this simple majority I have given on the screen. You may please have a look at that. Right? Right? Is it clear? Next. I'm going further. I told you what is this quorum. Quorum is equal to minimum strength of the Lok Sabha. Kindly remember, quorum is also mentioned in the constitution under the article number 100. Okay? And without quorum, proceedings in the parliament cannot take place. That's the reason why in the Lok Sabha I require at least 55 members, one tenth. And in the Rajya Sabha, I require at least the so-called 24 members. That is a one tenth. Am I clear? Now, let's go ahead. Special majority means the so-called two-thirds members supporting the bill. Two-thirds members supporting the bill. What is the meaning of this special majority, first of all? There are certain conditions with respect to the special majority. The name itself is indicating this is something special, this is not ordinary. How it becomes a specialty? Where you are going to use special majority, we'll see it later. But when I say the concept of special majority, there are certain requirements. Maybe in the Lok Sabha, maybe in the Rajya Sabha, as we know, so they happen separately, right? So if you look at Lok Sabha, you have 545 members. But if you want to pass a constitution amendment bill, there, remember, listen carefully, right? If you want to pass a constitution amendment bill, there you require special majority. What do you mean by this? Out of these 545 members who are present, if you want to go for voting, if you want to go for voting, at least 50% of the members must present. Am I clear? I am not talking about the quorum one tenth. If one tenth is present, then you can go ahead. No. Meaning, at least 50% of the members must present. That is equal to 273 members must present. If it is 300, 400, 500, or all the members are present, it does not make any difference. Clear? If more members are present, that is always good. More members are taking part in our democratic system. Wonderful. But when it comes to this one, obviously, obviously, what happens is that minimum 50% members must present. Then you will be going for the voting. Is it okay? And after that one, then you will go for the voting. There you require to get at least two-thirds of the members present and voting. Is that okay? Out of the members who are present, you must get the majority of two-thirds and not half. not half. And if you are getting two-thirds of majority, then that is considered to be the bill is passed. Examples here, if all 500 members are present, 545 members are present. In that one, if you take two-thirds, in that one, if you take two-thirds, what exactly will happen? Right? It will be coming like 365 or 366, say for example, or 367. You can calculate. Meaning, if all 545 members are present, that should be accepted by at least two-thirds means 366. Anything above 366 is allowed. That is called the Constitution Amendment Bill. That's the reason why there is a difficult procedure for amending the Constitution. Remaining things will be happening only through simple majority. But when it comes to Constitution Amendment Bill, that you are doing with the so-called special majority. So now let's try to see where exactly you are going to use all this. Where exactly you are going to use all this. Let's try to understand. Ordinary bills. Fine. Yesterday I was telling you a bill can be introduced either in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha. Is it okay? And when it comes to ordinary bill, we are talking about the ordinary bills. So an ordinary bill can be introduced in the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. There is no specification. Wherever you want to introduce a bill, you can introduce. I am talking only about ordinary bills. Number two, ordinary bill can be introduced by a public member or by a private member. I need not explain you now. You know what is a public member and who is a private member. Am I clear? So when it comes to ordinary bill, you are permitted to introduce first either in the Lok Sabha, first in the Rajya Sabha. Anywhere, no problem. But kindly see here, yesterday I told you, once the procedure is over in one house, the scene will be shifted to the other house. Clear? Both the houses must come into the picture. But which house will come first, that will be decided by, you know, the members who are present there. Is that okay? Now, that's the reason why. So, ordinary bill can be introduced by a public member or by a private member. Next, prior recommendation. Recommendation means consent, permission. Prior recommendation of the president is not required to introduce an ordinary bill. Important one. Is it a requirement to take the permission from the President of India for the introduction of a bill? You know what is the introduction of a bill. Prior permission is not required. Listen every word very carefully because all these things will be again coming up in our discussion. And when it comes to ordinary bill, what is the majority that is required? The majority that is required is the simple majority. Simple majority is required to pass the bills. Next, the bills must be passed separately with simple majority by both the houses. Meaning the simple, every bill has to be passed by both the houses separately. Am I clear? Next, in case of a deadlock, there is a joint session of the parliament. What is this joint session? Let me tell you this part. So, what is a deadlock, first of all? Let me tell you. See here, sometimes what will happen, these are the two houses. One is the Lok Sabha, second one is the Rajya Sabha. Imagine a situation, I told you yesterday how the bills will be passed. Imagine a bill has been introduced in the Lok Sabha and the bill has been passed. Bill has been passed. Obviously, now the bill is coming to the Rajya Sabha. But because of any reason, Rajya Sabha said, no, we are rejecting the bill. Just because a bill is passed by the Lok Sabha, it does not mean that Rajya Sabha should also accept it. Rajya Sabha should also accept it. Am I clear? Very, 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 very important. Is that clear? So now Lok Sabha said yes and Rajya Sabha says no. If both are saying yes, then you are sending it to the president. President will sign, it will become an act over. But in this case, what is happening? Lok Sabha, the first house said yes, and second house is saying no. This particular situation is called a deadlock situation. This is called disagreement. Very important. This is called the disagreement between the two houses. Hope you are following this. Now, I cannot say the bill has been passed because it is rejected by the Rajya Sabha. I cannot I cannot say the bill has been rejected because it is accepted by the Lok Sabha. Getting it? So this type of situation is called deadlock. But what do you do with this? So in order to resolve the deadlock, the constitution has given the power to the President of India. President of India. So this is the place where the president comes into the picture, and president will announce for the joint session of the parliament. What do you mean by joint session? First of all, joint session in the sense normally Lok Sabha sessions will happen separately, Rajya Sabha sessions will happen separately. Clear? Both the houses will not mix, right? They will happen separately. Clear? The two things here. But whenever there is a deadlock, president will summon joint session. Summon means organize. President will give order that members of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha must sit together, discuss together, vote together, and decide together. Clear? That is called the joint session. Normally, it will not happen. Normally, it will not happen. It will happen only when there is a deadlock. That is the point here. Joint session is summoned by the President of India. Joint session is summoned by the President of India. Very, very important. That's it. Am I clear? And joint session will come into the picture only when there is a deadlock. And so far in India, three times joint session has been conducted. This is called a joint sitting. Same thing. Joint sitting, this will come into picture only when there is a deadlock, because there must be some way out. There should be some way out with respect to clearing the bills. Clear? Now what is happening? You are sitting in the joint session. Normally what will happen, you observe. So when you sit in the in the Lok Sabha, the most powerful person is the speaker. In the Rajya Sabha, the most powerful person is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. That is none other than the Vice President of India. Okay, Vice President of India is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Am I clear? So here you have the Lok Sabha, here you have the Rajya Sabha, chaired by speaker and by the chairman. But when these two people are sitting together in a joint session, who will preside over? Constitution has given the permission to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Kindly remember, very, very important. Joint session is organized by the President of India. Joint session is presided over by the speakers. Clear? What is the basic function? To resolve the deadlock. Resolve. That's it. You need to come out of this. Clear? The members will be sitting, discussing, and voting together. That's it. That is called the joint session. And kindly remember, joint session is applicable only for the ordinary bills. Only for ordinary bills. Right. In I'll just go back. Look at this. The bill must be passed separately with a simple majority by both the houses. What is the meaning here? Ordinary bill can be passed by simple majority. Next, we're going down. In case of a deadlock, there is a joint session of the parliament. In case of deadlock, joint session of the parliament is summoned by the president. Is summoned by the president. What is deadlock? You just read this highlighted portion. You can understand very easily now. Right? Hope you got it. It is a situation where a bill is passed by the first house and rejected by the second house. In this case, the president summons the joint session of the parliament, where the members of the Lok Sabha and the members of the Rajya Sabha sit together and vote for the bill. If the bill is passed by the simple majority, then the president gives assent. Otherwise, the bill is considered to be rejected. Clear? And next point you can see very clearly, joint sitting is permitted only for ordinary bills. It is permitted only for ordinary bills. Look at this. Ordinary bills can be sent back by the president for the reconsideration. This is the only bill where the president can send it back. What is the meaning? It is passed by the Lok Sabha. It will go to the Rajya Sabha. Right? Everything is fine. It has been passed by the so-called the Rajya Sabha. Then it will go to the President of India. If the President signs, it will become a law. But as I told you yesterday, President has the right to send back the bill for reconsideration. Reconsideration means President has some objections in this particular bill. That's the reason why just to send back the bill so that what will happen, they will make some rectifications. But just because the bill has been sent back by the President of India, it does not mean that it does not mean that the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha must accept it. They may accept it, they may not accept it. But they have to vote on the bill again, meaning with or without modifications, if the bill has been passed by both the houses once again, and whenever the bill comes back to the president for the second time, president must sign the bill and president cannot send back the bill again for reconsideration. Meaning the president of India can send back the bill for reconsideration not more than how many times? Not more than one time. Very, 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 very important. Is that okay? So meaning is simple. The powers of the president have been restricted here. They are restricted in such a way. At the most, he can send back the bill for reconsideration only for one time. That's it. Clear? Next. Got it? Yes. So this is about the so-called the ordinary bill, and you have to remember these points. And when it comes to the money bills, again simple. Please look at this. But some important points are there. Let us discuss. So I'm just keeping this, this document open so that you can continuously look at the document. Money bills. If you want to introduce the money bills, prior permission of the president is a must. You should also understand the differences between all the bills. Okay. For introduction of ordinary bill, there is no necessity of president's prior permission. But for the introduction of the money bills, prior permission of the president is a must. Is it okay? So they may ask you in the examination, whose prior permission is mandatory for introducing a money bill? Answer is the president, right? And where are you introducing the money bills? Money bills must be introduced first only in the Lok Sabha. Money bills must be introduced first only in the Lok Sabha. Okay? And it should be introduced by a public member and not by a private member. Look at this very carefully. There are so many differences. There are so many differences here with respect to ordinary bill and money bill. Money bill must be introduced only with the prior permission of the president. Money bills must be introduced first only in the Lok Sabha. Money bills must be introduced only in the Lok Sabha only by a public member, meaning only by a minister and not by a private member. Am I clear? And if you want to pass the money bills, what is the majority you require? Simple majority is enough, special majority is not a requirement. And when it comes to the money bill must be passed by Lok Sabha with a simple majority. Look at this, I'll just tell you. Now, you are introducing something called money bills. And this money bill must be introduced first only in the Lok Sabha. Before it is introduced, you are taking the prior permission of the president. Then, because there is a condition that the money bills must be introduced only in the Lok Sabha, we are introducing the bills in the Lok Sabha. Clear? And once the bill is passed, once there is a simple majority, once the bills are passed, once the money bill is passed, then it will go to the so-called this Rajya Sabha. It will go to the Rajya Sabha. But kindly remember, when it comes to Rajya Sabha has very, very limited powers with respect to money bills. Is that okay? Money bills cannot be voted by Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha can discuss the money bill, for not more than 14 days. That's it. There is a condition. Clear? But Rajya Sabha cannot vote. Permission is not there. Through voting only, you are deciding. But here, what is happening? You are not voting in the Rajya Sabha. It is only discussed in the Rajya Sabha. It is only discussed in the Rajya Sabha. Clear? Very, very clear. How many days you are going to discuss? Not more than 14 days. After that one, Rajya Sabha may send some suggestions to the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha may send some suggestions to the Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha may or may not accept the recommendations. Clear? If it is accepted or not, after that one, the bill will go to the President of India, and the President of India must sign. President of India cannot send back the bill for reconsideration. Very, very important. If it is ordinary bill, President will send it back for reconsideration. When it comes to money bill, because money bills are introduced in the Lok Sabha with the prior permission of the President, with the prior permission of the President cannot send back the bill for reconsideration. Am I clear? So these are the important points with respect to the money bills. Prior permission of the president must be introduced only in the Lok Sabha first, should be introduced only by a public member. Is that okay? And a joint session is not permitted because we are not giving permission to Rajya Sabha to vote. Rajya Sabha, what it can do? At the most, you can discuss the money bill for not more than 14 days. That's it. Not more than 14 days. Am I clear? Simple. Right? This. The bill must be passed in the Lok Sabha with a simple majority. Right? Rajya Sabha can discuss the bill, but it cannot vote the bill. Rajya Sabha must consider the bill within 14 days. Within how many days? Within 14 days. There is no joint session for passing the money bill, since Rajya Sabha has no power to vote the bill. Clear? Kindly remember, where joint session is permitted, joint session is permitted only for the ordinary bills. Am I clear? Next. Next one is the president cannot send back the bill for reconsideration, since money bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha with the prior permission of the president. With the prior permission of the president. Look at this. Next one is the Constitution Amendment Bills. I told you what is the meaning of this. Look at the points, please. Point number one. These can be introduced by a public member or by a private member. That's it. You know what is this? What is the meaning of this? The prior permission of the president is not necessary for introducing these bills. prior permission of the president is not necessary for introducing these bills. Okay, prior permission is required only for money bills. Clear? And when it comes to constitutional amendment bills, prior permission is not required. Anybody can introduce. Anybody means either a public member or a private member. Anybody can introduce this. These bills must be passed by both the houses separately with a special majority. Right? The bills must be passed by both the houses separately with a special majority. Look at this. What is special majority? The bill has to be adopted by two-thirds of the members present and voting, and with a majority of not less than 50% of the total strength of the house. Is that clear? Meaning, you minimum strength that should be present is the so-called 50%, and the minimum support you require is the two-thirds of the members present and voting. Is that clear? Next, is there any possibility of the so-called joint session? Answer is no. Here, what will happen? In case of deadlock, there is no provision for the joint session of the parliament. Deadlock means what? First house is accepting and second house is rejecting. That is called deadlock. But in the case of ordinary bill, to resolve the deadlock, we are going for a joint session. But that facility, that provision is not available for the so-called constitutional amendment bill. Since constitutional amendment bills are considered to be very, very important one, deliberately this provision has not been created. Meaning, if Lok Sabha says yes and Rajya Sabha says no, then final answer will be no. Am I clear? Very, very important. That's the reason why constitution amendment bills must be passed by both the houses separately. In case of deadlock, there is no provision for the joint session. Am I clear? Now, simple parts. Look at this. Imagine is a constitution amendment bill you are introducing in the Lok Sabha. Then if everything is fine, it will go to the President of India. Clear? And whenever the constitution amendment bill goes to the President of India must sign the constitution amendment bill. President of India must sign the constitution amendment bill. Am I clear? Meaning is simple. President of India cannot send back the bill for reconsideration. Cannot send back the bill for reconsideration. So getting it? Previously, originally, in the original constitution, President was given the permission. Okay. So in the original constitution, President was permitted to send back the bill for reconsideration. Clear? But over a period of time, what happened? By amending the constitution, at the time, Srimati Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India, and she made so many deliberate attempts, and she amended the constitution many times. Okay, and at the time, what happened? There is a provision for president for sending back the bill for reconsideration. I am talking to you with respect to constitution amendment bill. But when she was the prime minister, constitution was amended in such a way where the power of sending back for reconsideration of the president with respect to constitutional amendment bill has been taken away. That's the reason why since the time the moment constitution amendment bill goes to the president of India, president must sign condition. Am I clear? So what is the meaning here? What are the bills that can be sent back by the president? Only ordinary bills can be sent back by the president. Am I clear? So these are the the so-called the differences, right? So let's finish up this constitution amendment bill. Look at this. President cannot send back the bill for reconsideration. The president must give assent. In case of federal powers, the bill, after passed by the parliament, must get the assent of the at least half the states with a simple majority. What do you mean by this? You know the meaning of the word federation. Sometimes constitution should be amended in such a way where both the central government and state governments will come into picture. So during that time, what will happen is that once the bill is passed by Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, before it goes to the President of India, the bill will be sent to various state legislatures. And in the state legislatures, you are going to discuss it. Every state need not accept, but at least half the states must accept, at least with a simple majority. Special majorities are not required at the state level. Special majority at the parliament and in the state legislature, if it is accepted by not less than, if it is accepted by not less than half of the states, then the bill will be sent to the so-called the President of India. And the president will sign, that will become an act. Right? See here, for example, is a very, very important one. Recently, I was telling you, even in the current affairs also, in the current affairs session also, I was telling you that GST, goods and services tax. Right? Hope you have followed that one, that video. Otherwise, please go to current affairs session and please watch that. That the GST bill is related to both central government and state governments. Both central government and state governments. Then obviously what happens? If you pass only in the parliament, then obviously there is no meaning for federation. Since the states are also involved in this, since the states are also involved in this, you need to require the permission of the states. But if you ask all the states to give the, pass the bill, that may not be possible. That's the reason why in the constitution there is a provision. If it is accepted by at least half the states with simple majority, then the bill is considered to be passed. How many states? Not less than half of the states. Then it will go to the President of India. President of India will sign. It will become an act. This is how the GST bill was passed. It was passed in the Lok Sabha. It was passed in the Rajya Sabha. Then it came to various states. Kindly check out, right, whether the bill has been passed by your state legislature or not. Clear. Even today also, there are some states which are pending with this particular passage. But the required number of states have passed it, and the bill has been sent to the President of India. Am I clear? Next. Okay. I'll just look at this. Yeah. So the Constitutional Amendment Bill that seeks to set up a body which will withdraw funds from the Consolidated Fund of India. Okay, I'll just leave this point here. When we discuss about the budget, then we'll understand this. Okay. So now, so this is about the so-called the law-making procedure. All right. So this is about this. So now, what I'll do is that I'll just give a break to this particular session, and I'll be sending you a mail. This by 6 o'clock. So I think the time is 5:45. By 6, I'll just send the mail. You just stay on. Okay. Don't go anywhere. Uh, just look at the mail. And in that mail, if there is a possibility, I'll send you a video. If there is a possibility, I'll just check it out. If there is a possibility, I'll send a video, and you please watch that video. Clear? If it is available, I'll be sending it to you, and you please watch the video. And next, and what is called in the next session. So we'll be again continuing. Next session means that is tomorrow we'll be continuing. But just wait for 15 minutes till 6 o'clock. I'll be sending you one mail. Clear? And that's all for the day. I'm just putting it off.